there's a whole bunch you can do with Zillow, right? You can pay a ton of money, you can get referrals, you can tell the world you're on Zillow, you can capture leads, but there's so much that you can actually do for free, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Social Media Marketing with Eric. I'm your host, Eric. Thanks for following along each week as we help you guys understand how to use social media differently in your business as a real estate agent. So this week we're talking about Zillow. Guys, some of you love it, some of you hate it. Is it a friend? Is it a foe? We're going to talk about that today. So there's a whole bunch you can do with Zillow, right? You can pay a ton of money, you can get referrals, you can tell the world you're on Zillow, you can capture leads, but there's so much that you can actually do for free, and that's what we're going to talk about today. How to use Zillow for free. Doesn't that sound great? Okay, so I got a bunch of different ideas on how we can use Zillow for free in our business that's probably available to you, but you didn't even realize it. So the first one is setting up and optimizing your profile. No matter what platform you're on, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Zillow, you have to have a completed profile. The reason so is that once you do it, the platform, Zillow, puts you in front of more people because they recognize that you're on the platform and that you know their stuff, right? So fill out your name, add your bio, your photo, your license, if anything about the area that you're in, fill it all out. There's a little bar that actually shows the progress of how far you've made it in your profile so that you can get to that 100% mark, and that's what you're looking to do. Check on it, update it often, make sure they haven't added any new pieces that you're missing. Maybe you're at 90% because they added a new feature that you don't even know about. Things change quite a bit. So get on Zillow, fill out your profile. That's step number one. Number two is use the right agent/team association, meaning that maybe when you got into real estate, you started out as a team because you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I just need help. Let me join a team, be part of that. Maybe your Zillow account got sucked into another team, and now you've broken out and you're on your own, and you're selling your own houses, you're building your own team. If your Zillow account is linked to another team, people can't find you because you're kind of hidden underneath the umbrella of that team. So go designate yourself as a personal agent or as a team, whatever it is, figure out how to use that. And you can only be in one place at one time on Zillow. So again, if you were part of a team, make sure that you took yourself out of that team and that you're back by yourself doing your own thing. And if you're growing a team, add all the agents underneath you so that you can maximize your exposure and your ability, and all of those experiences that they have can tie into it as well. So it's going to be beneficial. But the point is figure out if you're a team or a solo agent and go make that designation on Zillow. Okay, step number three is correct your listing data, right? So a lot of you guys will start on the MLS, you put all your information on there, you type it all up, it looks pretty, maybe you have a TC handle some of this stuff for you. There's actually companies out there that will write the description for you, a side note. But what happens often is Zillow takes this information from the MLS and they put it on Zillow so that they can see it right there, because a lot of agents don't know to go update their Zillow account. Big lesson there. But what you can do is actually update and make sure that the Zillow one looks right, it reads right, that they capture all the information right, that they use the main picture as the thumbnail that you want as the main picture, right? You can edit those things so that it just doesn't assume the data from the MLS. And maybe you realize you put something in wrong when you're doing it on the MLS, so you can go back and double check your work. But just verify that everything looks good, that it's represented properly, and that you haven't misrepresented the property in any way that you might not want to. The next one is add your past sold properties, right? This gets you guys exposure, it shows credibility, it shows what you're doing. Treat Zillow as like the Yelp for real estate, right? In these reviews in this process. So what it's going to do is someone's going to look at you as your profile, see who you are. We're going to talk about a few steps to get people to look at your profile. But when people look at it, and if you have no sales data, it's like, well, why do I want to hire this agent? They have no idea what they're doing. They've never sold anything before. And maybe you've sold 100 houses, but your data is not there. So go back, find the houses that you've sold, pin them to your account, recognize it, have the accurate price, the accurate date. You know, if the photos changed or anything about it that you want to update, make sure that it's done right and get those in there. Make sure they're accurate. Next one, step number 5, use video. Guys, video is huge. Right now, Zillow's pushing a huge amount of people who use videos up on the search. You get a lot more recognition for it. Your house gets found a little bit easier. And this isn't video like I'm doing right now, me in front of the camera doing video that way. Video is sound off, number one. I didn't know that, but there's no sound in Zillow video. So beware of that. So I think what they're trying to prevent you is holding the camera and saying, hey, if you want to see this house, call Eric, right? They're trying to get away from that because they obviously have their advertising objectives there. But what you can do is hire either a video guy to to come over and do it for you, or bring your camera if you've got the right equipment, but do it professionally, right? You're representing a homeowner's house here. Have panoramic shots, the views, the drone shots coming in. Make an all-encompassing display of this house in 60 seconds to maybe 2 minutes long. Sell the story that you don't get in the normal 15 to 25 photos that you have on Zillow. Okay, so use video. And don't put yourself in the video because that's not going to work out. You actually have to use the Zillow app to upload your video. You can't just host it on YouTube and post it that way. So be sure that you're doing that right. Next one is get client reviews, right? Back to the Yelp kind of idea here. Get your past client reviews, get your friends to review you, get your current clients to review you. The goal here is the first month you're on Zillow or the first time you're going to do this, try to get 5 referrals that month. And then each month after that, as you're in business, have a goal of getting 2 new referrals, right? Be part of a group that helps each other contribute to that review group, right? Get reviews from people that know, like, and trust you. It helps give you up those 5 stars. You look more credible. Again, if people are checking you out and they see these reviews, they go back and see all the houses that you've sold, you're a shoo-in for the position. So great opportunity there. Okay, next one, answer questions, right? People love to get responses to their questions. So go in there, treat this kind of like a blog, if you will. Go in there and say, what does it take to sell a home in today's market? Or here's 5 strategies on how to prep your house for sale in the winter. Here's how to stage your house, whatever it is. Go in there and answer questions, be responsive. There's a whole form. There's a lot of information that you can share in the Zillow community itself. And one of the interesting things too is if you read really what Zillow is about, it's to educate basically and make aware of the homeowner and the home buyer in the process of buying and selling real estate. It's to educate them and help them. It's not to find houses. It's to educate them and help them understand what's available to them, how to work with a professional, how to get the most amount of money for your house when you go to sell it, and everything that's available to them on the market, right? It's a great place to go look for a house. Most of your clients are probably going to start looking on Zillow on their end, and that's really the enabling fact of what Zillow's done for you. It prevents you from having to show every single house in your community, having to send emails all day of all the houses that are available for sale. It depends on how long you were in the real estate industry. They used to have this binder, at least where I've lived. They had a binder that you open up, you thumb through all the photos, and they only had 1 binder per area. So if that binder's gone, you can't sell any houses that day. And that was how you found the available properties that were on the market. This is obviously pre-internet, right? Some areas still have these listing binders. It's pretty crazy. But the point is now you can drive all your traffic to Zillow. They can see all the homes that are for sale. People aren't coming to personal websites and using IDXs to find homes that way as much. I mean, it happens here and there. We get a couple people that have that happen. But for the most part, people are going to Zillow. They're going to Redfin. They're going to Realtor.com to look for houses. So if they're there, you might as well be there with your reviews, with your past solds, with your pretty smiling picture and bio and video and all that great stuff to stand out as an amazing real estate agent. Let's keep going. Next tip, automate some of your emails. Okay, this is a huge one that most real estate agents I talk to miss out, okay? So if you are spending money on Zillow and you have a lead come in through your system and they click to want to talk to you about that house, if you don't respond within 60 seconds, the lead's gone forever. And you're paying for this, guys. Even if you're not paying for leads and somebody clicks on one of your listings or they message you about your information on there and reaching out to you and wanting to get a hold of you, you need to have an automation email that goes back to them. This is, thanks for reaching out to me. I'd love to get a hold of you. These are the times that I work. When's a good time for me to reach out? So that it's instantaneous. It's automated. You can set all this stuff up within Zillow so that all this happens. The problem that we see most people have is that Zillow gives you a lead, you're busy out living your life, you're doing your thing, you're selling your houses, you come back, check your email, and you're like, oh, I got a Zillow lead this morning, 7 hours ago. You call them up, ring, 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 nobody answers, I leave a voice. Next day, better call that lead back. Ring, 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 nobody answers, over and over and over. Guys, you've lost the lead. Automation is king in today's fast-paced world. So set up your Zillow automation with emails. Have those triggered out. And I'm not talking about like, hey Steve, have you found your dream home? Hopefully you like the house on 123 Main Street. You got to make those personal. I'm talking about the instant responses that happen when people click on your information, okay? Do that, it's vital, it's huge. Okay. Next step, sync your leads, right? Zillow works with almost every single CRM out there, meaning that when you capture that lead and you send that auto email back to them, now you can bring that data into your CRM, your contact relationship manager, right? So you know their name, you know their phone number, Hopefully you got an email address out of them. You can start responding. You can keep track of how many times you call them and how many times you left the voicemail, the notes from the conversation. Get the point? It's got to stay in your CRM. It's got to be somewhere else. You're just going to have notes lost all over the place. So keep track of these people. Keep them in your CRM. If your CRM doesn't talk to Zillow, there's a program called Zapier, Z-A-P-I-E-R. It's great. It connects different programs like that together. It works with thousands of different apps out there. So go check out Zapier. There's a free version of it too. It's wonderful. We use it every single day in our program and what we do. So Zillow is cool. Okay, the next one is use widgets, badges, and APIs. You're probably thinking, all right, we're getting too deep. I don't understand what this technical stuff is. Just know API. I can't remember the acronym right now, but it's basically a computer version of communication, right? It's a way for app number one to talk to app number two, kind of like taking Zillow and talking to your CRM, but it's a way of communicating back and forth and sharing this data, like we talked about in the previous one about syncing your leads. But what you can have it do, for example, if you're familiar with the tool BombBomb, we use that a lot in our marketing when we were in real estate. BombBomb is a video application that you can pre-record videos, you can send video emails through Google, things like that. It's great for brand recognition and remembering who you are. So what you can do, one of the things that we did, is when a lead would come in through Zillow and they'd click on your house and they want to talk to you about it, a video would go back to them, a pre-recorded video that you would have done, and it's all tied into your CRM, right? So the video goes to that lead and it basically says, hey, thanks for clicking on our house, 123 Main Street. We're really excited to answer any questions that you have about it. If you want to set up a showing, somebody from our team will be getting back to you within the next 5 minutes. Okay, so stay tight. Something like that. What happens then is the system texts one of the agents on our team and says, you've got a new lead, call this guy back really quick. And if he was busy, it would go to the next and the next and the next until somebody actually called that lead back. So we got to them within 5 minutes. Huge opportunity to capture business from Zillow when you can respond that quickly. And that's what an API does. It basically lets all these things communicate as one. Very technical, but there's a lot of things that you can do with an API. So if you're interested in that, explore Zapier, APIs, your CRM, talk to the company that provides your CRM and see if that's possible. Really cool things what you can do with that. Okay, the last one is to repurpose available report. This is kind of a fun one because what happens is every season Zillow basically does a good report on the US economy as a whole. It talks about your local area. It really builds you what you could say is a marketing report for your clients, right? It helps you understand what's going on in the market and helps you share that data with your followers and with your clients. So what you can do is actually PDF this. You can turn it into a blog. You can share it amongst all your other social media platforms, and it helps you look like you know what you're talking about, because oftentimes there's just confusing stuff that you've got to figure out how to talk about. Sometimes knowing your numbers can be complicated, you know, understanding days on market and average sales price, and the numbers go on. But anyway, the point is it's helpful to have somebody else helping you curate this content and generate it, and that's what Zillow can do for you. It can actually make these reports interesting and engaging, and you can share it in a blog, Facebook, wherever it is, and make you look like you know what you're talking about. Hopefully you can read these reports and explain them to your clients, but the point is having something to share and engage. The other thing that I was going to mention, which isn't really in these tips, is really driving traffic to a specific spot on Zillow, right? People are going to be there anyway. So if you have it on your website, go check out our Zillow profile, see our past history, see our reviews, all those kind of things. If Zillow says you're a great agent, that just builds your credibility so much more. So if you're going to take people off your website, send them somewhere to a very specific place on Zillow that you can really build yourself up again and make it look like you're the outstanding agent that you really are. So use Zillow in your business. It's free. All these things that we covered are free. Obviously you could spend a lot of money on Zillow, and there's that available to you as well. But there's so many things that you can do for free in this world on social media. You might as well take advantage of it. Send traffic to it, use it, be there. They put it out there for you to use as a real estate agent. You might as well be there, be found, and get more business from it. So that's my tips for today. Hopefully this helps you. I know you're thinking, how is this social media? Really, guys, so many people are on Zillow. It's kind of its own version of a social media platform in and of itself. So use it, make the most of it. Stay tuned for next week. We've got more advice on how to use social media in your business as a real estate agent. Thanks for following along. We'll see you next week.